Welcome back to Square Off. There's a new sheriff in town, and Maricopa County Sheriff Russ says he is ready for the job. Skinner started at MCSO 30-plus years ago, following in his father's footsteps. He was second in command to former Sheriff Paul Penzone. When we talked last week, Skinner had some things to say about the sheriff he once worked for and the sheriff he replaced. I started by asking whether he shared former Sheriff Penzone's frustrations over dealing with an 11-year-old court order to reform MCSO. Did you feel the same way he did? You were the number two.
Sheriff Penzone may have had a lot of frustration and may have expressed his opinion, and that he has a right to do, obviously. And whether garnered or not, I have to represent the agency, this process, and continue forward with the path that we're required to do. Because at the end of the day, it's the 3,000 men and women out there that's impacted and the community that's impacted. I don't have, there isn't a clause in the order whether you agree or don't agree or whether it frustrates you or not. The order has, you are ordered to, my name now being on it. So I have to make sure that process continues on. And if there are things that I guess I feel that I'm in contention with or something like that, or something administratively needs to be changed or revised, then we'll work with the parties and we'll work with the judge if that's the case. But as it stands with my perspective, again, since October of 2013, all I've read is that is an order and your agency will continue to move forward with compliance in these reform efforts. And so that's what I'm committed to, and making sure that we get there.
You're going to run for a full 4-year term. As a Democrat, do you understand why some Democrats might look at that and go, he just became a Democrat in October and now he's running as a Democrat? How should we look at this guy?
People that know me know I'm not a political person. My thing is when Sheriff Penzone decided he's not going to run and secondly going to leave the office, there's a lot of uncertainty with potential what's the future leadership of Maricopa County. And that could only last 9 months because then we have an election cycle coming up. So when I saw the support and encouragement that somebody from within the agency needs to step up to do that, I decided to do that. And the only way I could align with that was the day after Sheriff Penzone announced I changed my political affiliation. I'm not tied to my political affiliation in the fact of philosophical, this, that. I'm a law enforcement professional. That's not going to change how I do my job or change my person. Again, I'm not a political person. If somebody has foundation or validity of criticizing me for that, then, I'll be happy to answer those questions.
Did you vote for Donald Trump in 2016 or 2020?
I'd have to think about that. 2020, was that the last one? I don't remember. I don't recall. It's possible.
Yeah.
Possible. I don't recall. And Republican political affiliation, I'm not going to go out there and say which candidate's better, but I'm not going to say which one's worse either.
You were on the force for about 20-plus years while Arpaio was here. Rightly or wrongly, do you understand how that might be a challenge for you to overcome in the eyes of Democratic voters?
Well, and I hope it wouldn't be because, again, this is my career. I don't choose necessarily who my boss is. You don't choose necessarily who your boss is. As long as you're showing up to work every day, doing everything you can ethically and morally sound, and you're doing it for the betterment of your family because you're bringing home, a career, a paycheck, you have time vested in this. You can't just walk away from this job. You can't walk away from the community. The unique thing about Maricopa County, it's very diverse. There's rural areas, there's park and recreational areas. I wasn't tied to the leader of this organization. I did my job day in, day out. I can't speak for what may be perception that what he did. I can't erase that. What I can do is make sure progressively we're moving the way we need to, and that we're building the relationships and strengthening those relationships with the community and our staff members forward. I can't speak for what happened because that was not under my control or my authority. And I'll tell you, we kind of look at labeling by the leader of the organization. You can't walk into anywhere and label the whole organization and those employees as corrupt, raw, whatever you want to do. Those are people that are working their careers. That's their job. They're trying to do the best they can.
You checked off a number of initiatives at a news conference earlier today. What's the one thing you think you can get done in the next 9 months, even or a year, say, that will really make a difference either to
the county, to your employees?
They're all priorities in my eyes. All of these, I want to move the measures forward. We can't just focus on one because these are all exigent situations. The biggest thing I need to focus on this year, obviously, is the staff recruitment and retention, looking at those areas. But also, we have a very, I want to say election cycle. We have a very potentially contentious election cycle coming forward. So I want to make sure we provide the necessary safety and security of that so we can get through 2024 and not wind up on the map as another controversial type situation.
Sheriff Russ Skinner will be part of one of the strangest Democratic primaries in recent memory. All three Democratic candidates for sheriff were lifelong Republicans who changed their party registration to Democrat after Paul Penzone, who was a Democrat, stepped down. When we come back, why far-right Republicans are targeting a top Republican elections official. Stay with us.